Oh man, we're live, guys.
Cool.
Enhanced. You guys want to go black and white for this meeting? Much better.
You might have pretended that there was something else.
Spotlights. How do you do that?
Oh,
Probably whoever's moving.
That's cool.
Oh, that's neat. Focus. Nice. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Testing.
I think we should go. So I don't know if we need to start anything until pizza gets here. But now we're broadcasting, so Brian can join us. Someone messaged Brian saying, "Hey, you have to go online now." So now everything you say is recorded, guys. Be aware.
Can't say anything. Make sure to catch that whiteboard.
Someone want to try it from a different room to see if it's working?
Oh,
Gabriel, you have a laptop.
You want?
You go try it from another room, see if it works.
just have them battle it.
I like you do it in my room. Right? Do it right here and get an echo going.
You could join.
Versus it.
You could join the hangout.
I think he has it posted on the page.
The only thing is, it's not going to be very good sound. Whose laptop is that? Yours. Your laptop work?
Oh, yeah.
Are you on?
Oh, I got two other people. It's live.
Yeah, it is live. You gonna join?
Oh, that's weird.
You were saying,
I'm not looking at myself.
You should join. Join the hangout. I don't know.
Oh, I'm just playing it back. Oh, that's. Did you see the delay? Ryan just got up.
Oh, really?
wow. One of the Wi-Fi's here.
You can try the Assuring GuestNet.
It's not working too well.
Is it blocking everything that you want to get to?
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. Exactly.
Second one.
Oh, I don't know.
Wise crap. There we go.
Success.
You going live?
Hold on.
You join the hangout?
Look at
Is it getting hot in here? Or is it just
It's kind of warm.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch.
How do I join? Oh, no.
I can play.
Discovery test.
I count with what?
Google?
Yeah,
I can play the.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay, so go to
So do you work up an
Here, just
option
hold on.
too in that area, or
what's it
I'm
called?
currently unemployed.
Click on. Where's this? What your?
Came down here to do some networking.
cool? Good place to do it.
Join, I can watch
I
Yeah.
have to
it.
invite you.
Yeah. Do I have to click yes?
Your pro
No, it's just
code?
a poll.
Yeah.
Pro jam.
Oh,
Oh, that's right. I told him there's a pro jam. Well, yeah. If you click play, is that just short, or can you actually join?
It's just
I'm watching
the,
myself watch the video
No, it's just-
It's nice.
that you're
Like a
recording.
super zapper.
I'm trying to invite you.
Oh, it's time lapse. It's behind
You just came over to
So
me
do
right
you-
now.
What?
Experience, are you kind of a back-end guy or full stack or?
Sorry.
Most of my programming
You
skills
have to
are
be-
Canvas International warehousing software.
Oh, okay.
But I do have, I did pick up,
Well,
I
you
watched
watch
it myself on Perl.
Did you ever interact with a guy named Ben Hanks?
Like, Juan,
I don't remember offhand.
That's all right. And he's this way. I know a guy.
Okay, but what
I don't know if he
email
does the
address did
Perl
you
stuff,
use?
He was like one of like O'Reilly. Like,
Who's the
I would say professors, but-
Oh, okay, yeah.
At gmail.com.
Oh, no, since like,
yeah.
yeah, he was instructor for the first two main
Okay.
classes.
Yeah. Cool.
Just MUNOZG
GA.
GA. There it is.
You have to invite them.
I don't know. I'm not sure how you can get other people to join in the conversation.
Well, I think you have to, maybe if they want to talk about it, but because you would be able to
Steve,
look.
is it possible to make it?
Yeah,
public?
yes.
I thought it was public.
It was kind of, there's his face really close up.
Inside Steve's nose.
This was like, I don't know.
Oh, cameraman, what's that?
Oh, it is pretty late.
It's not live.
You can cancel it.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Going up to space.
You type the size. Running around with a ball, shooting out the side.
Oh, screen share, yeah.
Q&A has been disabled.
But yeah, isn't there a way to like have multiple people go live? Or is this one person only?
Hang out on Google much.
Brian sent a message.
This isn't what you're doing right now.
You can verify it for sure. I can see you.
Hmm.
Maybe if I edit my circle.
Why is this disabled?
I'm not really sure what that does. Friends now.
We're friends? Yes.
You're in my circle.
All right.
You're in my circle. I +1 you.
Just one?
Is the Pearl game going yet?
Oh, wait, I took it away now.
Let me ask that.
Yeah, I don't have a Pearl Jam for tonight.
Jam this. You should make Pearl Jam on YouTube or something.
Oh, group chat. Can anyone even group chat?
Yeah, I don't watch.
No.
With 4 viewers.
Apparently, if they not use test more with this stuff.
Hmm.
I got hijacked.
I'm definitely thumbs down.
What could go wrong?
You can turn off the camera. Hmm. But yeah, like it shows me, and there should be like more people that pop in the bottom here when presenting to everyone. Stop presenting.
So the link for that is different than the one you have. I wonder if that's just the broadcast feed and not actually the Hangout itself.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Google.
Google the Google.
Google how to Google Plus. Invite friends to Google Plus.
So this is Steve. All right, I'll be right down. Thanks.
The pizza's down there?
I think it's Finkel, probably.
Oh.
It's just Finkel. All right, you guys. What's that?
I did not know who it was.
Yeah, you said
It's
it's
a good
not.
call.
Oh,
Well, let's hope he
Ask
snuck
them if
beer
they
in.
brought the pizza.
it's right on the wall.
Only this one.
Did they strip it
Wait, does
like
this one
very
have
clear with
code?
you guys?
Yeah. It has the coding on it. No, the other
I was
ones.
working at EC in Wilson one weekend. I used to work there. And my boss came in with his kids and they were playing in his office with
Do that.
whiteboard with magic markers. And he has one wall that was nothing but a white wall, but
Yeah.
they shut the door and kept.
It's just begging to happen, isn't it?
Yeah. Someone will forget. And the Google Plus.
Did it work?
Oh.
Son. I'm just that good.
Oh,
He did not.
he did not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well, I didn't use it.
there was a green pop signal. That is
What I had to do was, did I turn it off though? Yeah. What I did was I had to click the link to start my own video chat, and then eventually popped up, would you like to join this thing that's going on right now? Oh, yes.
So if I like
I didn't
start a
know that.
hangout and then click that one,
Yeah.
it like might try to merge. Start a video hangout.
that ain't doing it.
I had to install fucking.
Click allow to.
But it didn't require me to restart my browser. because I had like 40 tabs.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Let's see.
While you're waiting.
There was an error loading my app.
So cute.
What's in that little line?
Are we really close?
Draw on this.
I guess so.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
wow, that's not a minute.
I didn't know that we could do that.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, that's funny. If I get anything out of it.
Hanging out by myself. Start up.
Ryan just re-entered the room.
She just has to click this thing and people don't. Give the option. Wow.
So is this bash exploit serious?
Only if you're running CGI-based apps, it sounds like. Or is anything that uses that into the covers. So if you're deploying, I don't know if it affected fast CGI.
So what did you do?
Oh, I closed it.
Oh, well, did you read that at all? Did it make sense to you? So basically, I mean, I saw that what you can do, I just don't know how. It sounds like you can embed arbitrary stuff in like user agent or header app headers, and then they get passed over the environment.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you can craft the right set of
Here,
things and pass
sorry,
them over to something you know that's running. Was it only CGI or mod?
Yeah, there were some other things.
Oh.
SSH.
Right here.
Oh, okay.
Just popped up.
Oh.
They're saying practically anything that runs Linux could be vulnerable.
Okay.
So I wonder if, I don't know if this is
Like
gonna be a good way to
Wi-Fi
get-
routers and things.
No, that
Yeah, I'm
makes
sure that's
sense.
probably the biggest thing.
Because I didn't
Even if
have that.
even if it hits the
So-
security, because even if you have some type of
Maybe
digest
do
authentication on, you
research.
still have the initial pass would go through and still get parsed by the
Oh, yeah, that's.
web server. So,
For professionals.
yeah.
I checked through my machines and none of them, they all seem to be okay.
Oh, interesting.
So there's like a one line,
This is awesome.
Yeah, like you gotta go with a couple.
you can
Just
copy
watch.
and paste in the shell and see if it echoes back when you fail or not.
Anyways, okay, so
It
now I'm starting.
doesn't take very much to
Hangouts hack
to tell when you've got the exploit.
Right, it's just how you actually use it if it's
Yeah.
running on a. Because I would think if you're doing something like that's plaque based, I don't think you'd have to worry about it. But yeah, the SSH, it looked like you could include it with a keys. I don't know. That's the one part I didn't get because it sounded like in the SSH scenario, if you added it to one of the headers, you could actually exploit it maybe too. It wasn't obvious to me on
I
that
did
side.
say that too, because I didn't know what was.
I don't know.
Oh, I said maybe. Yeah, okay.
Anywhere where you could potentially touch a shell execution is a problem.
Okay.
But beyond that, I don't know.
And I think it sounded like Red Hat and CentOS had their updates up, but I know Debian didn't have one yet for both situations. So
I don't,
I
my
tried.
machines are Ubuntu and they seem to be okay.
Okay. Huh.
I guess you can't do it on the phone.
No.
Discovery fishing.
Yeah.
Well, I know, always sets up red alerts and panics everybody at the bank, so. Exactly. I mean, our big one.
500 other things that are critical.
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of
Oh,
yeah.
remind me of the
Yeah,
All
all
of our
things.
machines that the customers
in T.
All right, have it open.
have the vulnerability.
Yeah.
So like,
If I had you,
We're
but,
running-
and I hated him, but not
we've
him,
got it
then
running
we're
for like 4
all
years old.
really we trusted then, right?
So,
What are you gonna do there? I mean,
Yeah.
and then do you guys, are you still able to remote admin those boxes? So you, if you did a
Yeah.
system patch, you could.
yeah,
Okay.
we can push things. They all VPN back to us,
Okay.
and then we can log in and do whatever we want.
Hmm.
As far as, so we could push, I think what we have to do is build a new version of Bash and push it out.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds like, not that we could be a sysadmin.
Yeah, exactly. Sounds
Was
like
it-
a big old pain in the
Do
butt.
they have something ready to go for the patch, for patching Bash? Did you guys
I heard both ways, so I heard that, well, there is a, like a one-liner that you can use to tell whether
Yeah.
you've got it or not.
Yeah.
And supposedly there are updates to fix it, but then there was some warning that some of the updates were low.
I know this guy.
Yeah, I think there was, that's why I think that fix that they had made for it was only a partial fix to it, and then so somebody created a secondary vulnerability.
Oh.
Saying, hey, there's another thing, you need to patch that now too.
Plus, there's just one guy in the meetup.
Yeah, so
Brian's
we
trying to join.
figured out how to do it. You have to be in the circle with the person hosting it.
Yeah.
And you then have to start your own hangout, and you get asked to join if it's live, because it's broadcast.
Oh, okay.
So anyone that you want to be able to participate has to be in the circle.
So I think Brian's in my circle. I could ask him to join.
Yeah, he's on there asking right now.
Is it?
Circle, man.
I thought he was.
He lives.
You don't live anymore.
Oh. Here, this is for favorites.
Oh, cool. Gabriel joined. Then he left.
Run away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I invited. Oh, okay. How do I invite Brian? Brian Whiteman. Invite. There we go.
Was there an option like, bring it up again? That, let's see, your circle's public.
Should I just do public? Sharing this video with the public would allow anyone to on Google Plus to join. Yeah! This cannot be undone. Done. Unable to invite public or extended circles. Why?
The RM-RF.
Oh, it's so sad. Well,
You can't, but.
and my extended circles.
Oh, somehow blocked.
Well, why not?
Maybe because it's already running? No, it doesn't.
No.
There. It doesn't let you go outside your circles. Hey, there's Gabriel. All right. Gabriel, say something. Good boy. Oh, there we go.
Gotta turn around.
So is that controlling what the video records? Oh, man.
Why is my face?
Isn't it awful how we're wasting YouTube's storage space with this?
Exactly.
Google's gonna be pissed.
Shut us down so fast. Do you guys want to start talking before pizza gets here, or do you guys just want to wait till pizza gets here?
I'd say start.
Cheers.
Maybe it'll be a little intermission or something.
All right. Well, so yeah, just to clarify what's going on, just get some announcements out of the way. So we're here at Assurant Health because Assurant Health is the only Assurant presence in Milwaukee. The StreetLinks company was bought by Assurant Specialty Property, and so we needed a space to put our guys, and so we built up this space here. And we're not at Corpisa tonight because we were going to have it last week. It got rescheduled tonight because of conflicts with a few of us. So tonight is, however, the typical night for the Python meetup group at Corvisa. So So-
We have a hangout. We could
So, the plan is to continue hosting at Corbisa. It's just it's pretty much just a one-time thing to host it here. So, but we had some ideas for some other places to host it too. So we're not tied to Corbisa either, but it's a real easy space. There's a lot of hires still at Corbisa that come, so it's a nice arrangement. But yeah, thank you all for coming here tonight. I know it's kind of a hassle getting the guest badges and parking, and we don't have beer, but appreciate you guys making it out.
Parked like right outside the building.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, but sometimes that gets full, so then people are left hunting for a parking ramp that's not closed and doesn't charge you $50. So
There's a big vacant lot just down the road. I would think you could just pull in there.
you'd
Right
think
underneath
so,
the bridge, just
and then under the bridge.
act like you own it.
But yeah, let's see. Mark's a first timer. Mark is a new member of the Streelings Pro team. He's actually outside of Indianapolis, but he's in this week getting some training. But he'll be here once in a while, and maybe we could time it around the meetup group so that you can attend
I used
these
to
more
bring them
often.
all winter. January, February, really are the best times to be in one. Just make sure you book like the 8
It's
months
gorgeous.
or 8 weeks straight. While
Yeah, right. And let's see, Jim, this is your first time here too, right? So, but he's been a regular at Mad Mongers, so he's also telling me you were at some of the original Milwaukee PM meetings.
Well, I never made it to those.
Oh, you never made it. I was gonna
But
say you might have been the only one there.
In Chicago on the west side numerous times, and when I was living in the Twin Cities, I made it to Dave's. There, it was more interesting for them because they a couple of them are vegans, so they don't even eat real cheese.
Oh yeah,
yeah, Rolski's, yeah.
we'll get into those too.
Yeah, I was up with I was in Minneapolis for years.
Oh, yeah, Rolski, yeah. They're people too, though.
They're people too. I don't think
They have feelings. So. All right. So, yeah. So this year we've been trying the idea of just making up a bunch of different themes to talk about. The one for tonight is about testing. So I just made a few notes about different things that come to mind when we talk about testing. So I just gonna go through some of those things and. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of an awkward layout because if you guys want to share something, I don't know, you'll have to come and use my laptop or something if you want to pull something up to share. But you want to close that door? Is the cleaning crew going on?
Yep.
It's kind of loud. But really, I'm just really here to bounce around with different ideas. So if you guys are bored, you can say, here, talk about this instead. Or if you guys don't want to talk about testing, that's fine too. But I just like kind of try to guide the conversation and see what you guys get out of it. Usually we always find something new to some people. I jiggled my handle. All right, so let's see if we can do something on the computer. I should be able to screen share, right? You are screen sharing and presenting to everyone.
I mean, I did it like once, but it was like tutorial step by step.
Shit. I've been bothering Steve about it. Every time I try to make a joke out there, I see him like, dude, I'm gonna call a machine. Like, no, especially with bash exploit. Maybe I could actually get into the machine. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, right?
Priority.
Talking about that batch exploit?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We're talking about using the bash exploit to get into your machine so I could file pro.
Typical Gabriel. You guys all hear about that?
No. Yeah, just bits and pieces.
That's funny.
I can do that sometime.
It's okay though. Not a lot of people have bench, so it's not that big of an impact.
And you have to be on the network too. I mean, not everyone's on like the internet.
You have to be on the internet.
Yeah.
It's also not-
Okay, so maybe I start with so like what is testing and like why would we test anything? So I don't know. Does anyone want to talk about like what they test at work. So in my experience, most people don't write tests. So of those people that do write tests, does anyone want to share what they test or why they test? Because if I'm talking the whole time, that'd be annoying. So I know some of you write tests.
Gabriel does.
I do, because if I open a pull request and my tech lead will say, why didn't you write a test?
So the number one reason is somebody in charge yells at you.
Well, and I write tests so I don't get those messages.
You guys seen that Dos Equis thing where it says, I don't often test, but when I do, I test in prod. You guys seen that?
Sounds awesome.
Sounds sadly true.
Production. That's awesome. All right, so now how do I share this with the world so that everyone can see it? I can share the entire screen. There we go. Whoa. Nice.
That's like at the barber shop.
Yeah. Present to everyone. There we go.
That's gonna break.
Are you on the Hangout right now?
I think so. It just shows your.
It's like
Is
30
it?
seconds behind.
Okay. That makes sense. That's awesome.
Time delay.
I don't know if it's on my screen now, but so I guess when you guys test, what do you guys use to test? Can you see it? You guys test more? Anyone use anything besides test more? There's a whole ton of different. Test most? What's the difference?
It's test more plus several others that let you test things. Test more doesn't cover like test differences for comparing whole structures and stuff.
I use test exception a lot.
Test exception?
I just used that for the first time.
Yeah, that's one of my.
Actually, wrote.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so test most is equivalent to saying
Then I don't.
use strict, use warnings.
Much EDI stuff. So
Yeah, it's all up. You
you
get in there.
commit
Oh, I see. You get it for free in there.
Yeah, test exception. Test deep, that's a good one. I like that one. Yeah,
What is it?
compare deeply. That's a great place to start. You guys want to see a demonstration of this? I think this is really cool. All right. Workspace, Perl Playground. Testing. Already exists. I'm already testing. All right, test deep. So I don't know what that is.
Sudo it. Make sure.
One thing I think about it.
Exactly.
So is that gonna work? All right, so we got
Make sure
test deep. Do I have it? Okay, I have test deep. So if I have like, let's see if we can figure this out. So compare deeply, that and expected in the name. So if my A equals like foo equals bar, and then my B equals foo equals baz, and we did compare deeply, A and B, testing the deeps. So let's see what this does. So now it says not okay, compared data foo, uh-oh, got bar, expected baz. That's pretty slick because it shows you exactly what's going on. I thought there was another one in the wild that was even prettier. For some reason, I think Rob made it. Or he used it somewhere. What was that for? Sorry, I'm sure this is riveting. Maybe it was Trace Cisco dependencies. Oh, you know what? Actually, while we're here, have you guys seen some of those articles about some tricks? Searching on MetaCPAN, you can actually type in module, and then that'll search for modules with that prefix. So now you only have results that begin with tests. So then you can do like
Only 2,500.
yeah. But now I can say module : test, but then search for stuff that's deep, and then it's got to be test : something something something. It's not that one because that's the one we just looked at. There's one with color. Test differences. That's what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Equal or diff. Okay, so it's an enhancement for test differences. Test differences. So this one will, here we go. So if you want some like fancier output, you comparing stuff, it'll go to town, especially on like white space. It's nice to show white space differences more explicitly. So
That's differences. Dude has a sweet beard.
he does have a sweet beard.
Wow.
True.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's kind of small.
it's kind of small.
I've never seen him and any of the members of CC talk together.
Maybe, but you never know.
Blend in.
See what happens if you have arrays that don't match.
Yeah, differences.
Nice. Yeah, so test deep even shows you specifically the second, the third element in the array is different. So
That's differences.
it does different.
Yeah,
Test. I don't know if I have that installed,
No,
but
I'm assuming this only shows you the first instance of something being it won't show you all of it. Test differences might show you all of the things.
yeah, let's try this first. So if you have bar equals 2 bar 1. Right, it just stops at the first difference. So let's see what test differences does.
EQ or diff.
EQ or diff?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's got a star on each line that's invalid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And now I think this is why test differences color is so nice, because if we turn that one on, you don't just have to look for the stars. Woo! Isn't there a way to make applause with this? I thought there was. Ugly effects.
Hangouts all the way down.
Oh my god.
Are there like
What do they support on the backs of turtles?
That's what it kind of looks like.
no, aren't there sound effects in here?
Eyewear.
Sounds. Awesome. So keep that open. Keep that open. All right. Neat. So, so this kind of leads me into the next thing I want to talk about. Do you guys understand what tap is? Anyone want to explain that? Finkel.
Yeah, I think
Foosball.
he raised his hand. I think it's the only thing I know about it is that it's okay followed by or okay or not okay.
That's all you know?
And then.
No.
And then it's comments. Right?
Yeah, yeah. So there's like, what does it stand for? What does TAP stand for? Yeah, yeah, it's a
that's it,
protocol.
yeah.
So there's like a few different like things it looks for.
It's like PHP unit. You can also get it to put things out in TAP format, which occasionally is useful in PHP unit because sometimes you can't figure out what test actually died.
Yeah, we did this, we actually do all our database changes using tap output that we can push through Prove. And so when you go ahead and do something in the database, then the columns don't align or the data that you're expecting isn't there, we just output whatever it is, and then the testing is going to grab it and say, oh, you need to apply this thing because it's different. So we kind of have this whole nomenclature. One of the guys on our team built that. It's actually, I mean, it's very, very simple, but it's a great way for us to keep the serialized changes. Because basically every test alter or every database alter that we have goes with a test file that basically runs a simple test to check it. So kind of like,
Is it PG Tab or is it something else?
We're a Percona shop or MySQL Percona shop.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I know there's this. We could get into that later. There's
Percona versus Postgres.
no, no, but the PG Tap is it's a language that allows you to write tests for SQL so that you can verify does the database changes you expect it to do, and so it outputs TAP, and so then you can just have your TAP or your test harness aggregate that data.
Yeah, we just handwrite the SQL stuff because generally it's pretty easy. Like you can write something that queries the information schema to say does this column exist now or not. If not, you output that it failed it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's conceptually actually really pretty simple, but it works. It's pretty powerful.
Nice.
Who created that? Was it Larry? Was it like this?
Who invented TAP?
Yeah, that's a question we were having back here.
Well, I think
Initially, always to begin with.
I thought it was Andy Lester who coined the name, but I think
TAP was created for the first version of Perl.
Wikipedia.
Test on this.
I didn't know it was that early, but I thought it was something that Larry just kind of used it like internally. And then yes, later I believe it got the name, and then later it got test harness.
where did I see
Right above that.
history?
That's a beast.
That Andy Lester.
Andy Lester thought that the thing we now know as TAP needed a name. See how TAP was named. Oh!
What?
The name is relatively recent. Sweet. So, version 1, TAP was understood by Perl 1.0 as t/test.t. Understands the basic 1 through M header. Okay comments, not okay comments. Version 2.
It says it right there, author language. Wait, hold on. Yeah. Okay, number and not like under that.
Oh, okay. So this is the commit that started it all. Yeah, so I can fast forward through this. I just want to kind of talk about so the current specification does a lot of things you guys probably all know. Like you define the number of tests, okays and not okays are looked for. The output after the number would be used to see the name of the test. There is a to-do flag. So if you have a directive for to-do, if the to-do has an explanation after it, it must be separated from to-do with spaces. Represent a feature to be implemented or a bug to be fixed and act as something to be executed. They're not expected to succeed, so you can use that to make a to-do list. Sometimes you need to skip tests. For example, in our system, we'll skip tests if we don't want to, for example, touch authorize.net, or if we don't want to use our address geocoder. That's it's a third-party service we have to pay for, so we'll skip tests if we don't do that. There's bailout if, for example, you can't connect to the database and you desperately need your database to run any tests, so you just bail out because there's no point in continuing. Diagnostics, anything that starts with a pound sign will be considered not any kind of test output. And so all this kind of makes all of this is easy to use when you make use of a test module like test more or test most. Sorry, I lost my Windows. And really, at the end of the day, all you're doing is, like Finkel said, you're just dumping out okays and not okays. Yeah, Nick, were you going to say anything else? I can't remember where we're going, but you were going to say something.
But really, whatever your tests, your test can be written in anything. It just has to be something that produces that tap output, and then you parsed by something else.
I have a question. Have you or anyone else ever seen that done? Like a test written in something else, but process, but output it?
There's a library for C.
There is one for C. I've used it. Yeah.
How does it work? Is it good?
It's okay. Yeah. I've also written my own. I built a tool around it. I didn't, but that makes me want to now.
PHP unit, you can also.
Can you repeat? I didn't know that.
Because of the way PHP, that's sometimes you have to use the tab output, or you can't tell what test it was actually.
Really?
On this website, it's testanything.org. It does list a whole ton of known producers.
Oh, there you go.
ADA, ARC, C, C++, libtab++. Provides
beer tap.
Beer tap. Should make one.
Yeah, we should.
Erlang, Java.
I think we have a ranking now.
JavaScript.
Wow. I wonder if there's anything to
Lua.
plug it into like Casper.js or something. I'm sure it wouldn't be hard to do though. There's your PG tab.
There's PG tab. Intro to PG tab.
Only thinking about
Say what?
what you thinking about your
Yeah. And while we're talking about PG tab, I'll plug another tool out there called Sketch. Has anyone looked into that yet?
Yeah, by what's next? That sounds really actually very cool. Have you guys tried to use it though?
I keep kicking myself, by David Wheeler.
Yeah.
I keep kicking myself because I haven't made time to try it yet, but it's a database management tool. It's written in Perl, but it's not specific to any like DBIS class or DBI module. It's a way to harness Git, I believe, to manage your database migration plan, and then it helps you deploy and manage that plan. That's about all I know, other than what it says here. Like, it has dependency resolution, so if one part of your plan depends on this other part of your plan executing first or whatever, it will resolve all that before it executes anything. So if you're in a massively distributed project and a lot of people are committing changes, you can help sort things out by using that dependency resolution. But the other thing it does is I believe it has nice hooks for running any PGTab tests you write. So yeah, PGTab is a way to actually verify the changes you make are accurate. So you can actually do things like select OK, foo equals bar, and foo should return bar. And so then when you run it, it outputs tap and bam, whatever. So I haven't used this myself yet, but it's very intriguing to me because we do a lot of database migrations for our web application, but we never really verify they execute the way we expect them to. We can go through plenty of testing and QA and stuff to do that, but how do you know for sure that the column you added is the column you expect it to be? And even if it did succeed, it's not so much a problem of whether or not it did execute successfully, because obviously your transaction would roll back, but just like any other test you write where you want to verify that the data is what you expect, you want to make sure that this column, maybe is named what you expect, or, more importantly, like maybe a migration of data is what you expect it to be doing, or the data you're deleting is only deleting what you expect it to delete.
I would say more valuable. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say,
I see it more valuable too. Like if you have say 100 changes that you've made over the last 3 months or something, you run that full suite of tests, you can verify that your new changes didn't affect.
Yeah, right on.
where you insert the old changes.
There you go.
Yeah, and that's what I was telling these guys. We have this kind of simple infrastructure that we do. That basically we have an alter for each of our database changes that go with the test and that output. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's, it doesn't give a keyword, but basically, you do the if, select, and then if it returns over the condition, you can output okay or not okay. And then, we do stuff like select from the information schema, make sure the column named is what you expect. If we're inserting, like we do some test data, but sometimes we have pre-population of like lookup tables. And so what we'll do is there'll be a whole test suite that'll go in there and check, basically we expect these columns to be there. And so we do a lot of that. And it's nice because then the tool basically can run through and it goes through all those serialized and it basically just keeps trying to test. And if it doesn't get one, then it says, oh, this is the thing that probably needs to be applied. And so it kind of gives you that after, we usually do is at some point, it just takes so long. So we end up archiving those off and everything. And, you kind of have to get to a place where, production's at a given state. So you're not, trying to run 500, alters or 500 checks.
Right.
But yeah, it's kind of that same infrastructure. But this stuff, it was really interesting because you can actually define like the connections for each environment. And it's fascinating. I just don't know. There's a lot of undertaking. And our stuff is so pretty simple. So it's basically.
Oh, okay.
It's just basically the nomenclature of a couple files.
Yeah.
One name for whatever it is. One name with test. We also do some audit stuff, so we always have audit changes, and then it just runs it through the tab stuff. So
nice.
I'll have to share it. It's super simple conceptually.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it kind of gets you like 80% down the road. So I haven't heard from the pizza people yet.
Huh? That's weird.
Yeah. Maybe they can't find you.
We got time.
Maybe they got arrested with the 6-12 packs I asked them to bring.
Well, let me dive into one more topic before I'm guessing the pizza will come soon. So I just wanted to talk about like how do you actually run the test. And so in Perl, this is a Perl script, so we could simply caps lock. Sorry. So if we run this as just a regular Perl script, it's going to run the test. But obviously, all it does is spit out tap. So it's kind of annoying to look at. It's you have to kind of go through the whole thing and scan for any okays and not okays. So the most popular one, and really I don't know if there's any other worthwhile alternative. The most popular hardness run through is going to be called prove. And so with prove, you can just execute it just like a normal. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but execute the Perl code, but then prove will consume the output and then give you a report on what it did. And so here we see in very obvious red text, failed 1 out of 1 subtests. Here's a nice report summary. If you run hundreds of different tests, it'll give you this nice report summary and show you like each individual test that got screwed up. So what I did for my machine is I have in Vim I have a shortcut to run my test. I just picked F5. And so what that does is run the test and prove. And then what I did was, so for the longest time I kept saying, well, after I run this test, number one, I don't want to leave my editor. So I used to see a lot of people do something like, execute, and I'm sorry, they modify their test, get it all ready, and then they quit Vim, and then they're like, okay, now I need to run this test. So they're going to do like prove, and then run this, and then, okay, there's a test output. And then they have to go back into their editor. So I didn't like that at all because then you lose your undo buffer. So what if you want to undo your last change? Well, you just closed and reopen your editor, so now you don't have that. Now some of you guys might know that Vim does also have a setting where you can turn on a history of undo buffers, and so it actually save your history to a file. It's like a swap file for undo commands. Anyone remember how to set that up?
Yeah, that's kind of slick. I was wondering.
Yeah. Nick, I remember you and I were talking about that because you didn't really like it. You don't remember that?
I remember what you're talking
But you don't remember how to turn it on? No, I can't remember either. I should have looked that up before the meeting, but Yeah, so the reason I don't like it, and it's a small thing, but every time I open the file, I like being able to undo back to where the file looked like when I open it. So with this, you could undo forever, and then, well, you don't have that built-in stop. RBang?
Yeah. RBang, whatever command you want to write. Yes, you can put it in.
Oh, to go back to the way it looked.
Well, to run the command from inside the file without leaving.
Oh, right.
I mean, that's what you set up.
Yeah, to run that, yep.
In your 5.
Yeah. So, right, yeah, you can just do like, bang, Perl, and then %sign tells you the name of the file. So it'll execute that file. But the other problem I had was that I used to do this. And the problem now is that the output is there, but I don't have an easy way to get back to it. I'm in Vim. I can't scroll back. Well, I can on my terminal here because I'm SSH'd in, but typically you can't do that because Vim overtakes your scroll back buffer, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, usually.
I just happen to be in an SSH session, so it works pretty well here. But so yeah, typically you can't do that. So long story short, what I ended up doing was typing the output to a file, and then now I have another command to load up that output. So F6 then pulls up the last output for that file, and then brings it inside of, opens up with less. So then I can use less to navigate the output of that file.
Or you could set up a function key to open a brand new file, and then read it to the brand new file.
Yeah, and then you could use Vim controls to look at the output too. Yeah, that'd be smart. Yeah, I just like less because I know the keystrokes are less well, and it's really fast at rendering a large output. But then the last thing I also added was that you'll notice that here I actually have color-coded output. So my last script actually also had output. But watch what happens if, so if I run this in Prove, we get that color-coded output. But if I run this and save this to like temp/testresults.txt, it's not red anymore. And if I edit this, I lost my color coding. You guys know why that happens? Yeah.
It detects whether you are going to a terminal or to something else.
Yeah.
And so it will only do color coding if it's going to a terminal.
Right. So the way I got around that was one final step to my recipe. Instead of just executing the command, there is a Linux utility called script. Oops, sorry. Have you guys used script before? Script is a tool that spawns a new shell, but everything that happens from this point on will get saved to a file. And so if I do something like date, if I do like ls, whatever I do, everything I just did in that session is now saved into a file. And that file is this TypeScript by default. And so if we just cat this out, we'll see all this junk right here. So everything I did before is going to be there. But now look what happened. If I VI this though, what's going on? Control characters, yeah. And if I less this file, same problem. I got those crazy control characters. But actually I want that because what's going to happen now is I can do less -r. With -r, it's going to render those control characters. And now I get my colored output back. So, yeah. So now I got my greens and blues. And sorry. Maybe the pizza's here.
Oh, cool. You here?
Yeah. So, all right, I can go down with
If
you.
you're in front of the building, just come on into the security desk. We'll meet you down there. Yeah. It's kind of there's like 2 doors, one like swirly and one that's like the double door, and we'll meet you down there.
All right, we're gonna take a break for some pizza. I don't know if we can pause this, but we're gonna.